Welcome back, guys. It is Super Bowl weekend. This is getting released Saturday morning. Sam, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Doing a lot better than earlier in the week.
Exactly. We got a lot to uncover here. We'll obviously do a deep dive of Super Bowl between the Rams and Bengals. But let's start with the biggest news. I don't think that the Saints are ever going to have Alvin Kamara step on the field again.
Which, for their cap situation, might not be a bad day. Might not be bad.
Truthfully, that was one of the first thoughts in my head. I was like, as soon as I saw the guy was messed up as bad as he was, pretty much immediately I knew he's probably not going to play a game in the NFL because he's probably going to get arrested. Vegas is not somewhere that you can mess around like that.
We've seen star running.
My immediate thought was, for the team that had zero cap space, now you're probably going to be able to unload Michael Thomas for something. Obviously, they'll have to keep some of his money, but you're going to get out completely on a terrible Alvin Kamara deal. And really just be able to start that rebuild, because I'm sure they're going to trade away the defense too now. I think that's a complete rebuild in New Orleans. But yeah, Alvin Kamara likely never going to play another NFL game.
I think the dumbest thing about this situation, obviously, what Kamara did was stupid. I don't care what anyone says to you. You don't do that.
No, and it was from what I understand, it was 16 guys on one. So what it was, did you hear how it happened at all?
No, I did not.
Explain it. So I guess this dude, it was outside the nightclub. Originally got said that it was inside a nightclub. Outside the nightclub in a hotel elevator, this guy had on a very, very expensive watch. The guy that got beat up. And I guess someone in Alvin Kamara's group started touching it. He's like, "Ooh, what is this?" And the guy got defensive, said, "Hey, stop touching me," knocked his hand away. And that started an all-out brawl inside the elevator. Because I think the guy was kind of worried when there's 16 dudes and they're starting to touch all his stuff that he might be getting robbed.
Yeah, I would be too.
If one of them is Alvin Kamara, yeah, he's probably recognizable. But if it's 16 on one, I don't want anyone touching my stuff. But yeah, that's what I guess initiated all of it.
If I'm Alvin Kamara, you just got to tell your guy, you can't tell me that he doesn't either get himself out of the situation somehow or just be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop it."
Yeah,
this guy obviously doesn't want you touching his watch.
Instead, he just started throwing punches at this guy for knocking his hand away. So Alvin Kamara going away for probably a very, very long time. I think that's pretty much all we have to say about that. So from one legal situation to a completely different type of situation legally, the Bears are probably going to get penalized very soon, especially if they end up signing Davante Adams. Now, I guess him and Luke Getsy have been in constant contact all the way up to possibly helping Luke Getsy find a place to live. Obviously, as soon as he signed away from the Packers, he's not allowed to talk to Adams until he becomes a free agent. However, I think there's going to be some background on this just because while it is tampering, and I, as a Bears fan, admit that this is definitely tampering, if Adams is constantly talking about possibly joining the team, which I would love, you can't be doing that. So some sort of issue is probably going to arise from this. Now, obviously, they are now friends personally, so maybe they can get away with it in some way, but I see some sort of punishment coming down from the league.
If this is the NBA, they definitely penalize friends talking.
I don't know what you do. Obviously, you're a coach and a top end wide receiver in the league, not playing or not for the same team anymore, so can't really be doing that. However, we'll see how much the league gets involved.
It's probably, going to be at worst a fine and maybe a mid-round draft pick.
And I think that even might be a little extreme for this entire situation. If Davante doesn't sign with the Bears, I don't see anything happening. I think all of this is dependent on if he signs with the Bears.
Which, personally, I don't understand unless he just wants to go to Chicago that bad. I don't really understand that.
Well, the marketing money would be there for sure. That's something that you got to think about with these large cities like Chicago, New York, especially in Chicago, where really the team is lacking a star. He would probably eat, like within 5 seasons, if him and Justin Fields develop a good chemistry, he'll probably go down as the best Bears wide receiver of all time, just because the Bears' history is not very big. I believe Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall are both top 5 or 7 guys, and they both played like 4 seasons here. So if they could do it, what can Devontae Adams in his prime do?
I mean, that might be a thing for the like maybe a decade ago where it'd be more marketable, but honestly, you can be marketable anywhere now.
I guess, but I mean, there's just so much in Chicago; it makes a lot of sense. Then we'll hold off on all the GMs and head coaches that got hired till after the Super Bowl. Otherwise, this episode could be 2 hours long. What was the other piece of info? Oh, NFL awards. What was the big surprises? What did you not like? What did you like?
Rodgers wins his second in a row, 4th overall. He's now 1 behind Peyton Manning for the all-time record for MVP awards.
Yeah, he deserved it. I'm happy he actually won it because there was talk that people weren't going to vote for him because of his vaccination problems.
Which
that would have been stupid.
If you're someone that is not going to vote for someone because you don't agree with their vaccine policy for an MVP award that's completely based on the field efforts, you're just what's the point of even being in sports?
That's what I said too. Now, I mean, like if they said like, oh, I want to vote for Brady because Brady did, I think he set the NFL passing record for a single season, or Cooper Kupp because no one's done that as a wide receiver ever. If you actually had like stats to back it up, not just Rodgers isn't vaccinated, I can respect it a little bit more. But
yeah,
the fact that was even like a conversation starter, very stupid. But glad to see Rodgers won it. I really don't think there was many surprises in the voting. I mean, the only thing I didn't like was Vrabel winning Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vrabel winning Coach of the Year. I mean, he deserves it. He's probably getting close to a top 10 coach in this league, if not already.
There. I think he's there. So, I mean, I would have liked to see Zach Taylor win the award, though, to be honest.
But it's a regular season award. It's not you're not technically supposed to put the postseason into it.
He still went from the worst record, well, one of the worst records in the NFL, to winning their division, which was supposed to be a runaway for the Cleveland Browns at one point. And if not, then it was kind of looked at the Ravens were going to continue to win. But I don't know. I would have liked to see him get a little bit more recognition. Obviously, he's playing in a bigger game. Probably doesn't care about the award if they win on Sunday.
Yeah.
But
Micah Parsons was, I think, unanimous defensive rookie of the year. TJ Watt, I think, was unanimous defensive player of the year, which both of them are deserving. Jamar Chase was offensive rookie of the year, which he had arguably the greatest offensive season by a rookie receiver in NFL history.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really disagree with anything that happened for the NFL awards.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow winning comeback player of the year. That one I don't like as much, just because while he did technically come back, he never had anything to start with. I would have liked for Dak to win that award.
Well, Burrow had the better season than Dak.
Yeah, but you're saying like, I get that he got injured, and like you knew, many people knew Burrow was a very good quarterback. However, if Burrow didn't play well this year, you could have been saying like, oh, is he a bust? We've never seen greatness in the NFL out of Joe Burrow. That's not the case, clearly, but I mean,
you've never seen greatness out of Dak either. You've seen very goodness.
But then he returned to being very good. And for a while there in the season, we were talking about MVP. I don't know. I think Dak possibly should have won that award. However, I'm not really that upset.
They're going to give it to whoever comes back from an injury and plays the best, no matter what they were beforehand.
I guess. But is there a most improved? I don't remember that one.
No, they don't have most improved.
It's not like the NBA. That's an award they should add, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. just recognizing someone for improving season to season.
So let's start that debate. If there was a most improved award, who do you think it would have went to this season? Off the
Probably
top of our head.
Burrow.
See, I think like that would be where I'd say Burrow, and then you have Dak winning comeback player of the year. But all right, well, we'll move into the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl tomorrow, because this is getting really Saturday. Bengals +4 against the Rams. Let's start off with the big facts of the game. It's the second year in a row that we have a home Super Bowl team with the Rams playing in their home stadium. We have a lot of big time stories. You could have Joe Burrow become the only quarterback, I believe it is, to win a state championship in high school, a national championship in college, and then a Super Bowl in the NFL. For Matt Stafford, he went from not having a single playoff win in all those years in Detroit, and then 1 year in LA, he's now in the Super Bowl. So it speaks volumes about the Detroit Lions. We have Cooper Kupp, who can continue his dominance throughout the NFL all year. We have the young receiving core for the Bengals. We have the Bengals offensive line being very, very suspect. There's a lot that we can start talking about. What do you want to start with?
I'll talk about the Bengals. I want to start with the O-line.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, I mean, Donald, Miller, Floyd coming off. And I mean, Morgan Fox, wasn't a bad player for him either this season. I think it's going to be rough for Burrow. I mean, he was sacked, 8 or 9 times in that divisional round game against the Tennessee Titans. And I think this is a better front than the Titans have.
And possibly just as good of a secondary. So, I mean, they're going to have to rely on short, quick passes throughout this game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be the key.
The two things that they do is the short, quick wide receiver screens. And I mean, if the O-line could somehow protect them, the other thing they do is they hit those go routes.
Now, I mean, who do you give single, I guess not the word single coverage, but who's getting just one blocker on them out of those 3 for the Rams? I mean, you can't just have one guy on Aaron Donald. That's insane.
Personally,
it's got to be between Miller and Floyd.
I'd probably go Miller at this point.
I mean, I'm sure you're going to have Joe Mixon sitting back there kind of chipping on some of these blocks. I wouldn't want Floyd running through them either. He's clearly shown that the Bears just didn't know how to use him. So
yeah, I think one of the keys to the game is Burrow's not going to be able to hold on to the football. If he can get the ball out of there quick and get it in the hands of his playmakers, I think they can find success against this defense. I think if he's sitting back there holding the football, kind of like what Rodgers does, it might be a little bit longer of a day and probably won't be as good of a performance for him.
Now, let's move into the story of the young receivers for the Bengals. How do you think that they're going to do against this very, very talented Rams defensive backs? They are definitely going to have Jalen Ramsey on Chase, I would assume.
Do you think he shadows him? Because if I'm not mistaken, Ramsey really doesn't. He doesn't shadow players that much. I think he more sticks to one side of the field.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens, just because you can't go wrong guarding any 3 of these guys. If Chase is covered, then I'm sure Higgins or Boyd can get open. So that's kind of where this is going to be tricky. And if all 3 of them are covered, you're probably going to have a check down to either Uzama or Mixon. Burrow's got the weapons to win this game. Let's not question that. But I don't know. It's going to be a lot, I think, for the secondary for the Rams.
And I think it's a little bit overrated of a secondary. I don't really like too much other than Ramsey. I mean, Darius Williams is a fine starting NFL corner. He's nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this is gonna be a crazy, crazy game.
I think it's going to be high score, one of the higher scoring Super Bowls we've seen.
Yeah, and you know what's kind of like the cool thing about this Super Bowl, because it's gonna be so high scoring, there's gonna be a lot of fans that are gonna be celebrating, and they're gonna need a place to stay. Good thing is, with it being in LA, hotels.com has plenty of different options for people to stay at all weekend. I'm looking at prices right now. There's prices as low as $140 just for this weekend. Go to hotels.com. They can provide you with a place to stay in any city across the world. And we've been trusting them for a while, and we think that you should too. But yeah, it's gonna be high scoring. I think this is gonna be a fun game. I think it's gonna be one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in a while. It's also a Super Bowl with not the same players playing in it, even though I love Tom Brady. It's kind of nice that we have two somewhat different teams. You can say
Hopefully it's not as bad as last year's.
Oh yeah, last year's was rough, but it happens. As for now, the Rams, Matt Stafford, how big is this game for his legacy, you think?
I've never personally thought of Stafford. I thought of him as maybe a top 10 receiver in the NFL, or not receiver, quarterback in the NFL throughout his career. I think this helps him move up the list, but that team is so talented around him. And I think a lot of credit, if they do end up winning, is going to go to McVay.
Yeah. I mean, McVay got the most out of Stafford. And
I think Stafford, the key for him is he can't be doing what he's been doing the last half of the season and turning the football over.
No. Now, if this is a huge if the Rams go on to win this game, it doesn't matter what happens with the picks that they traded to the Lions. You also won this trade. This could easily be a win-win trade for both teams. If the Rams lose the Super Bowl, it's going to be hard to get back. Now, obviously, the NFC is getting a little bit weaker. We'll have no more Tom Brady. We might not have an Aaron Rodgers. That's to be determined. The NFC West is kind of getting a little banged up now. Probably no Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and the Cardinals. There's probably a lot of question marks there with how they ended the season. The 49ers will be back and being good again as long as they get good quarterback play. The NFC North is a joke. The NFC East, we'll see what the Giants can turn around and do. NFC South is wide open. So the Rams probably have 1 to 3 years of this team maybe being able to make a run. After that, they're going to go into cap hell. They'll never be able to keep this team around. They're going to be the worst team in football for probably many years. And I don't know, like they need to win this, I think, just to kind of get the monkey off the back, and then they can try to go for a second one these next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely the team that needs to be feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
The Bengals are set up really well for the future.
Tons of cap space. They're only in year 2 of Joe Burrow's deal. They'll probably have to pay him in 2 years, and he'll get paid massive amounts of money.
He's probably going to, if he continues on this trajectory, he's probably going to break records.
Yeah.
For highest paid player in the NFL.
Definitely.
Which that's every single quarterback now that gets a new deal is highest paid.
Yeah. So I like to see what they're going to do. I think clearly the pressure is all on the Rams. They're getting a little older. OBJ is going to be a free agent, which he's been a huge part of their success late in the season and into the postseason. They will get Robert Woods back. Tyler Higbee is out. He got put on IR. They do get back Darrell Henderson, though, in the backfield. I mean, what else can we really say about this game? Let's kind of go position by position. Let's say who has the advantage. We'll start weighing this out, starting with the head coach. McVay versus Zach Taylor. I'm going McVay.
Yeah, I'm going McVay.
I just think the experience is too much. At quarterback, we have Stafford versus Burrow. I think this one's closer than many people would have ever thought. I think I'm going to go Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, the way they've played this postseason, I mean, Stafford pretty much just didn't have to mess it up.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, that's really what it was. At running back, well,
and I think Burrow's won them games. So yeah, I'm going Burrow for the advantage at quarterback.
At running back, it's kind of a committee for the Rams, which will help them stay healthy and active throughout the game between Akers, Michelle, and now Darrell Henderson versus Joe Mixon and the receiving threat in Pirine. I think just because of the freshness and what the defense is going to throw at them, I'm going to take the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going Rams as well. I mean, Joe Mixon's is a very good running back, but I think he's going to have issues going up against that front seven and trying to find running lanes.
I think they're going to be filling a lot of holes there. We'll do Rams wide receivers versus the Bengals DBs. I have to take the Rams wide receivers just because the experience, how well they've played. Cooper Kupp literally was setting records. OBJ looks like old OBJ. The Bengals are just too young. It's kind of the story of the Super Bowl.
The Bengals have a starting corner named Eli Apple on their roster. I think that says enough.
Hey, he was celebrating pretty hard after that game 2 weeks ago.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a high scoring game. So I'm giving the advantage to the Rams wide receivers over the Bengals DBs.
And then we'll say Bengals wide receivers versus the Rams DBs, wide receivers, including Uzama. I'm going Bengals just because I think that there's too many of them. One of them is bound to get open.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals as well. I like the receiving core. I think Boyd, his deal might be coming up pretty soon, but yeah, they're young. If they can keep them all together,
why not? Rams defensive front seven versus the Bengals O-line. We already know this answer. We're both going Rams front seven. I don't really think there's much that's going to need to be said there. There's a lot of stars on the defensive side, and there's going to be a lot of guys replaced on the offensive side going into this offseason.
Yeah, I think Zach Taylor and his O-line coach are really going to have to scheme something up to try and mitigate Donald, Floyd, and Miller, as well as Fox, and any blitzes that the Rams do throw in there. If the Bengals O-line can hold up and give Burrow some time, I really like the Bengals' chances in this game, but
I think this game does come down to the Bengals O-line.
Yeah.
And then the Rams offensive line, which includes Walter Payton, Man of the Year. We didn't mention that award earlier for Whitworth versus the Bengals front seven, which is featuring Hendrickson, who was a top 5 sacks in the NFL this year. I'm still going. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Rams O-line though.
I'm going to go Bengals front seven. I really like Hubbard, Hendrickson, Reader.
I think that's going to be a closer battle than it looks like on the naked eye. This game is going to come down to both teams' O-lines trying to protect them against the front sevens of the opposing team, as many games do, really. So with that all being said, I think kicker, we both probably agree, it's probably McPherson.
Yeah, the rookie.
I love that kid. But no, now with everything kind of being said, who do you have? Why? What do you think about the spread being 4?
So personally, with the spread, I'd go Bengals +4 all day.
I think this comes down to last possession.
Yeah.
But I agree.
I think it might be more what I'm hoping happens. I really want the Bengals to win this game. I just think if you can get a Burrow Super Bowl with the way this team's going right now. And then you have Burrow Mahomes with Burrow up 1-0 on Mahomes in the postseason. They both at one Super Bowl. I just think that would be great going into the next couple of years, especially with the way Allen and Herbert are both playing too.
Possibly Deshaun Watson coming back.
And any of those rookie or second year quarterbacks, other quarterbacks like Tua or Lawrence can figure it out in their respective with their respective teams.
Mac Jones,
the quarterback play in the AFC for the next 5 to 8 years could be awesome.
Yeah,
if not a decade.
I'm taking Bengals +4, but I'm going with the team that I said was going to win it before the season started. I'm going LA Rams to win the game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be within a field goal. Regardless of which side this thing goes to, it just makes sense based on how the last 2 rounds of the playoffs have all gone, that this game is going to be close. I said it at the beginning of the year. I can't change now. I've been riding them. I've always had them in the top 5 of my teams during the power rankings. I always had the Rams right there. There's no reason that I should switch it now. If the Bengals are to win, I think it makes for a much better NFL story and a much better future of the NFL, because you're going to have all these young quarterbacks that are just on the roll, winning big game after big game. I mean, Josh Allen gets eliminated only because of the Chiefs, which was Mahomes and the overtime rule. His defense just couldn't stop anyone, and he was missing his biggest playmaker on defense all season. So the AFC is going to be in really good shape. I think it makes for a great story if the Rams are in panic mode. We'll see what they would have to do in the off season. So I think it's better stories if the Bengals win, but I'm going to take the Rams to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, plus I'd prefer the city of Cincinnati getting a title over the city of LA.
Oh yeah, no, I hate LA.
Same.
But it's hard to say that they're not going to win this game. Also, Skyline chili sucks. It's disgusting. The Cincinnati Skyline chili.
Never had it.
You can buy it. It's disgusting though. Yeah, don't do that. This is gonna be a crazy week. Let's do some prop bets. We gotta have some sort of punishment. We'll figure that out and tweet it. But between you and I, it's all gonna be like the stupid prop bets that we have no control under. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Perfect. I like tails. Let me look at what the over-under is for the national anthem. In the meantime, is there any other news that we need to cover? I don't think there is, though.
Not really. I mean, obviously, Rodgers did say that he's going to take a little bit of time to make his decision on the season, which he's still under contract. So it is, no matter what his decision is, unless he retires, it is up to the Packers. Which I guess the relationship between him, Goody, Russ Ball, and LaFleur is a lot better than last offseason.
I would hope so. Okay, here's one that we can do. What's going to be the color of Gatorade, if any, that's going to be spilled on top of the head coach?
So I think if it's the Bengals, it's going to be orange.
So are you going with orange?
And orange if it's the Rams, I think
orange is actually the favorite in Vegas at +300.
If it's the Rams, I could see either yellow or blue for them.
So yeah, I was gonna go blue, so I'm
gonna go orange.
It fits our team picks. Where's that over under on the national anthem? That's always a good one. And we'll just
always take the over.
I would go over 2 though, so that doesn't really work.
You always got to take the over because everyone's got to try and outdo each other every single year.
What is going to be the position of the Super Bowl MVP?
Quarterback.
I'm going wide receiver, so that works.
Oh, you're gonna go Cooper Kupp.
Unless you want to do this like a snake draft, and we have to have one of like that way we'll have to win. So like you can get first pick, I'll get second, third, so on. Do you want first pick or do you want second pick?
I'll go first.
Okay. So you're going quarterback?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go. Now the question I don't know is Von Miller and Leonard Floyd considered linebackers or defensive linemen?
Go edge.
So that would be, I think, a D lineman. That's just what it is. I'm gonna go D line and wide receiver. So what are your next two? The remaining options that we would still have is running back, linebacker, defensive back, tight end, kicker, punter, long snapper. That's all one, or offensive lineman.
So it's definitely not going to be an offensive lineman.
No, that's going to be the last pick for sure.
I'll go linebacker. Maybe a Malcolm Smith will come out of nowhere.
Okay. And that, I don't know, that could be including Leonard Floyd and Von Miller. I just don't know how that goes.
And then I'll go running back.
I was going to say, if you didn't take running back, I'd be a little confused. Well, I'm not going to go O-line and I'm not going to go kicker. So I guess I have defensive back and tight end, and then you'll just have kicker and O-line. So you get an extra pick, but I mean, it's not two very good ones.
Yeah.
Although who knows? Maybe this game will just be a field goal battle.
Like the last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, wait. What team do you think wins the coin toss?
The Rams. I think it's going to be rigged.
All right, I'll go Bengals just for the sake of it. We need one more just so we can set it. Technically, I guess we could still tie, but what do you want to make the punishment? Well, I look for one more.
Loser has to wear the other host team, either a jersey or a sweatshirt.
Like you'll wear a Bears something. I'll wear a Packers.
Yeah, on the next episode of the podcast.
I know I have we have a Packers hat in my garage. I can wear that if you win. Do you have anything Bears?
Why would I have anything Bears?
I don't know.
I can get something.
All right. Yeah, I mean, just even a hat. That's fine.
And then burn it.
Okay. I was trying to see if there was anything for the halftime performance, but it doesn't look like there is.
I'll burn it like the Cleveland fans did LeBron James jersey.
Now this one's kind of stupid, but I don't like that because it's actually a player thing. One of them is who's going to record the fastest AWS speed.
Jamar Chase.
That was the number one option. I like that one's too involved in the game. Not that MVP's not, but okay, here's one. Jersey number of the first touchdown score. Is it going to be over or under 23.5?
Under.
See, I'm trying to think. What number is Jamar Chase?
1.
Oh, fuck.
And Cooper Kupp is what? 13?
10.
Oh, he's 10. It has to be under.
I mean, I'll do it just because I'm going to not say the same thing.
I mean, T. Higgins is 88 and Tyler Boyd's 83.
Oh, I just put you as over. Hold on. Under and over 23.5. I'm trying to think. What
Joe
is
Mixon's 28.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the running backs? They might all be high 20s.
I think I don't know Akers.
I think Mixon's 25,
28.
28. Okay, so he would be on my side.
If there's a rushing
Sony Michel might be
touchdown by a
25.
quarterback. What?
Sony Michel might be 25.
Yeah, I think so.
If there's a defensive touchdown, I'll probably win that. Except for Jalen Ramsey, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's number 5.
Yeah, that's stupid. All right, well, I guess those will be our bets. Loser has to wear the other team's gear of some sort. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. If you guys are gambling, gamble responsibly. We're not responsible for your winnings or losings. If you or anyone you know are affected by someone that gambles, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. They will give you advice. You do not have to sign up for any lists or anything, but they're always there to try to help you. And check out our website, winnersonlyclub.com, posting more articles. Sam had COVID for a while and somehow no articles got written other than one. So that's pretty cool. We'll be having a lot more stuff on there. And then if you guys are listening to this in the audio form, please go over to our YouTube, subscribe, share the video. If you guys are looking at the video, please go over to Spotify and start subscribing to our podcast or Apple Music. If you're an anti-Spotify person now after the Joe Rogan situations, whatever it is, just follow us everywhere at WOC Main on Twitter and Instagram. And we will see you guys next week when the actual season is over. Moves will start being made. We'll start talking coaches. We'll recap this game and much, much more with hopefully some interviews.
And hopefully get our college football expert on the podcast for a mock draft at some point.
Those episodes are just going to be you and him, by the way.
Okay.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. I won't even be involved in those, so this will be nice. That'll be a little bit of time off for me. So we'll see you guys later. Peace.
See ya.